Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Knowledge with Nandini. Today I complete my 12th video, exactly 1 dozen, thanks to the overwhelming response from all of you all. I received several requests to speak on the role of CSSD during the COVID-19 pandemic and on the reuse of respirators, or what we also know as N95 masks. So here I am, guys. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected each one of us in some way. We do many things different than earlier. The virus that causes the coronavirus disease 2019, for short called COVID-19, is stable for several hours to days in aerosols as well as on surfaces. This is according to a new study from the National Institute of Health from CDC. Now more than ever, all healthcare providers need to be well equipped and expertly trained to handle sterilization and instrument processing in their practice, and the need for infection control across all health systems has reached a new urgency. Keeping patients and staff safe is at the heart of any effective infection control measure. So we need a better understanding and adherence to instrument processing best practices. This is truly essential for every facility today. In the beginning itself, I would like to put on record my appreciation for frontline healthcare workers who sacrifice and risk their health to care about us. But most of all, this lecture is dedicated to one group of unsung heroes, that is the CSSD. At the outset, I want to say that the CSSD has the most important role in the prevention of healthcare associated, or what I call in simple words, cross infections in the hospital. We are the pillars in preventing patient to patient, staff to staff, and patient to staff transmission through critical medical devices or linen. The work of the CSSD technicians has always been vital, but cleanliness, disinfection, and sterilization are now in the spotlight. This outbreak is providing the world with a lesson on hand hygiene, personal protection, being conscious of one's environment, and using correct processes for washing, packing, and sterilization. Being casual about any one of these could lead to a disastrous result for the worker or patient or both. Firstly, I would like to speak on CSSD staff safety, which is very important to me, you all know, and this directly and indirectly affects patients as well. The golden rule is you must concentrate on PPE at this time. No new norms may be required, but all these years we have not been following standards strictly. I have seen people being careless due to discomfort while wearing these, or because they feel hot or sweaty. Now we have no option. Follow the laid down norms diligently, which is another word for strictly or carefully, and that's all. First of all, we have to know what is right for which area, for which I have spoken in detail in 2 videos. Please refer these. One of the videos is called PPE. Or you can find this knowledge for yourself, or rely on a very strong infection control team if you have one. Whatever you refer should be from the point of view of the CSSD, not patient care. Most guidelines and infection control teams are not sensitive to CSSD conditions or needs, because patient care areas and the OT are properly air conditioned and ventilated. Hence, we need to design our own protocol, maybe a little different from others. Once we lay down the protocols for the CSSD, we need to insist that these PPE are provided. Our hope is that the hospital administrators will recognize the critical role that CSSD plays in patient safety and will invest in our department and our employees. Personally, I would not go to work if these are not available. If I'm dead, who will serve the next patient? Okay? There is no special PPE required for positive patients. Actually, we never know ever which instruments come from any infected patient. Many hospitals require corona test taken 3 days prior to surgery. What happens if a person contracts the virus 1 day after the test? The patient doesn't know, the hospital doesn't know, the doctor doesn't know, the nurse doesn't know. How can they inform you? This is true for any infection. Learn to protect yourself. Also, make sure that the environment allows you to be comfortable in these personal protective equipment for several hours. If you are not comfortable, you would not be able to work properly. In regards to handling COVID-19 contaminated items and disinfection in the healthcare setting, the International Association of Healthcare Central Service Materials Management, or ISHM, which is an association of CSSD personnel, much like SSA, HSSA and ISHA in India. They took guidance from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, called OSHA of USA, which said that follow standard practices for high-level disinfection and sterilization of semi-critical and critical medical devices contaminated with COVID-19 as described in the CDC guideline for disinfection and sterilization in healthcare facilities 2008. In other words, just stick to the old guidelines. Nothing new has been proposed in the case of the COVID-19 outbreak. I will try to give you this link in my intro to the YouTube video. So again repeating, are there any special precautions or procedures for CSSD staff to follow in corona positive cases? The answer is none. The CSSD people have been trained to handle items which have been contaminated with various bloodborne pathogens. So we treat all items that have been used on any patient as contaminated and may be infected, and they are all treated accordingly. If users choose to disinfect at their level, we do not stop them. But the instruments must come quickly to CSSD, and we must make sure that the chemicals they are using are not spoiling the instruments. This we must keep a watch upon. No one can dictate about the cleaning or chemical used for our instruments. Many sterilizers have a decontamination cycle, but we should put instruments in this only after gross dirt has been removed. Usually when sets come labeled infected, we follow this procedure. And again, this is for any infection. So we process the sets as usual, since while COVID-19 is highly contagious, CSSD technicians have already been trained to handle such instruments. We process the sets as usual. I'm not saying this by myself. It is endorsed by ISHM, OSHA and CDC. The only difference now is that we must strictly adhere to these standard protocols, SOPs or guidelines which we neglected earlier. This may have been due to lack of manpower or lack of training. On the other hand, if we have less cases, we could study our books, we can study our own SOPs, we can do some course and certify ourselves. We can also make an inventory of our instruments for which we usually don't get time, update departmental guidelines and policies. We can inspect and clean equipment like sterilizers and washer disinfector. We should also make plans for future expansion of the department. So coming back to the shortage, we said earlier COVID-19 has changed healthcare. we now face a shortage of respirators, ventilators, hand sanitizers, masks, and other medical care and personal protective equipment. This has left many hospitals and healthcare workers without the supplies they need for their own safety as well as for patient care. Supplies of N95 respirators have been short earlier also during infectious respiratory illnesses like influenza. You will be surprised that now there are CDC guidelines which recommend extended use and reuse. They recommend a combination of approaches to conserve supplies while safeguarding healthcare workers. They recommend to minimize the number of individuals who need to use respiratory protection through the use of engineering and administrative controls. As I also spoke earlier, the environment. Next, we should use alternatives to N95 respirators such as other suitable masks, keeping the use of N95 respirators for those personnel at the highest risk of contracting or experiencing complications of infections. Extended use refers to the practice of wearing the same respirator for longer durations without removing it, but not for periods over 8 hours. Reuse refers to the practice of using the same N95 mask for the same individual, either keeping it as such or after decontamination. The CDC recommends that the respirator being reused, which was classified as disposable, can be used as long as it remains fit and is used in accordance with hospital infection control procedures. Obviously, you all know, discard these respirators if they are contaminated with blood, respiratory or nasal secretions or other bodily fluids from patients. To protect these from splashes, you can use a cleanable face shield over the respirator so that you don't get surface contamination. The healthcare facilities have to develop clearly written procedures to advise staff on these reuse policies. The manufacturers of the N95 respirator may have specific guidance regarding their reuse. If no manufacturer guidance is available, limit the number of reuses to not more than 5 per device. Hang the used respirators in a designated storage area away from each other, or keep them in a clean, breathable container such as a paper bag between uses. Obviously, discard any respirator that is damaged or becomes hard to breathe through. STERRAD, the hydrogen peroxide gas plasma sterilizer belonging to ASP of Johnson & Johnson, has been approved by the US FDA to decontaminate and reuse. The procedure is easily available on their website. This is just for your information. You don't need these technologies, but I must tell you something new. So new technologies have been introduced in the market, like UV lighting, which can be used for air and surface disinfection. Then there are robots available which emit UV-C rays. As I said before, robots are also used for cleaning floors. Autoclaves have come into the market which sterilize the exhaust air before releasing it into the CSSD. There are companies which claim to have disposable wraps which have 100% bacterial barriers. And there are biocidal detergent disinfectants who have the power to eradicate virus. But my dear young CSSD friends, what is most important is discipline. Do you still sit around in the little section where you have your tea break without your mask on and within 6 feet of each other? Dangerous. Even if they are your best friends, you must maintain a distance since you remove your masks to drink tea or to eat. Perhaps you can have your refreshments in 2 rounds so that there is enough place to maintain social distancing. Please use common sense practices like these and keep yourself safe. Bye for now.